how to obtain an IP via DHCP server without the direct changing config files, without making permanent changes. I have some good news and I have some bad news. So if you're watching this in the short form, come join us on the long form, because short form, the letters and the font, it's not very clear to see. And also, if this video gets longer than 3 minutes, you need to check the long form. So come check the long form. Good news and bad news. So here I'm using an example with the RHEL, in this case Rocky Linux 9.6, and this will work in most Linuxes, if not all Linuxes. So first of all, just disable Network Manager, or stop temporarily Network Manager. Stop Network Manager. Okay, because if you keep Network Manager running, he will just headbutt you with, because of all the configs that are already there, and he wants to apply that. Well, Network Manager is going to fight you for the configs. So in this case, not right now, I have an IP address, so I can do IP address flush and the network card here. So yeah, now I have nothing, okay, which is a good start to be. So now I just do DHCP client and I specify the network card. Wait a moment, ignore the jibber jabbers, errors, whatever the case may be. IPA, there you go. I have an IP address obtained via DHCP. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. If you're watching this in a short form, come join us on the long form for all the details and for the bad news. For the long form peeps, here we go. So if you want to go back where you were, it's fine. You just do, again, the flush and re-enable Network Manager. There we go. And everything should be back at where it was. Fine, everything's fine and dandy. We're good to go. So, but this is in most Linuxes, and this is in RHEL. This is in RHEL 9 plus, and all the other Linuxes. But in this case, speaking about RHEL and other Linuxes, I have some not so good news, which is in RHEL 10, you don't have the DHC clients, and it's impossible to install, because it's not maintained since 2022 and they just removed it altogether. So in RHEL 10, specifically speaking about RHEL 10 and RHEL 10 based machines, it's just not possible to use the DHCP client. And that's the end of the story. So the closest thing you can get, well, you cannot get the same thing. You can set a manual IP address, a manual static IP address. I have on my channel a Linux Quickie all about that. But DHCP, it's at this time of this writing and this recording, it's impossible. If you know an alternative in RHEL 10 for the DHCP client, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear about it and do a video all about it. But at this point, I have no recognition of an alternative for the DHCP client, and there is no way to get it running. So if you are using, just as side note, so don't leave it like this hanging. So if you are using Network Manager, which in RHEL 10 and similar Linuxes that don't have the DHCP client, you are just stuck with that. If you are setting the connections, there's just one thing to note, which is go to your config file, all right, and make sure that method is equals auto, which is kind of the given. It's the normal configuration stuff. But if you are, some people are migrating from the old RHEL configuration style to the new RHEL configuration style using Network Manager. So if you are migrating, make sure that this option says DHCP equals internal and not DHCP equals DH client, okay? Because if you're migrating configs from the old school to the new school, you may get some things that are not valid, all right? And that can happen. So if you're migrating, best method is just to do this method auto. If you want to use DHCP equals something, use internal, not DH client. If you are using a non-RHEL box, any other Linuxes, you can use the UDHCPC tool, which is a good alternative to DHCP client, but in RHEL 10 that does not exist. So if you're using something that is not RHEL, you can use the UDHCPC utility to get similar results from the DHCP client, but sadly in RHEL that's just not possible, because none of these tools exist available by default to install. Neither the DHCP client, neither the UDHCPC client are available. So it means that you are kind of SOL in RHEL 10 or RHEL 10 or Rocky 10, whatever 10, but that's what we get. So until RHEL 9x, DHCP client really works, and obviously previous versions. In RHEL 10, you are SOL. You need to use network manager. There is no way that I know of with network manager disabled and temporary getting IP address from DHCP. If you know a way, let me know. I hope this helps someone. I'm sure it will. Like, subscribe, hype, and comment. It really helps. And I'll see you in the next one. Next quickie or other long form videos. Cheers, guys.